Talk. I am here in New Jersey. We have Russ Norcross. He is joining me tonight as a co-host as we bring on Matt Meyer of The Bear and the Rat of www Cool Treats for Dogs. I'm going to look forward to hearing his story, where they came from, and how they got this magical frozen dog treat out to you guys. So we're going to be bringing him on here shortly, but it's so exciting to be back here live again. But this time I'm actually in New Jersey with a close friend of mine who is going to be in future episodes and future announcements here as we continue to move forward. Blue Line Canine, Dog Talk, and all because of you guys. So as I always do, I start off with a little bit of gratitude. So thank you guys for liking, loving, watching, subscribing, giving us some thumbs ups, because if it wasn't for you guys, none of this actually happens. So without any further ado, let me bring on my guest, Matt Meyer of The Bear and the Rat. Matt, welcome to New Jersey and Dog Talk this evening.
You.
So if I'm correct, you are in California, is that right? Colorado. I'm sorry. Still West Side.
No worries.
West Side, right?
No,
yeah.
No problem.
So you're out in Colorado.
Where in New Jersey are you guys right now?
We are in Cape May County, New Jersey.
Okay. So we actually make it in Keyport, New Jersey.
Where's that to you?
Google it.
Huh?
Near Red Bank.
He's going to Google it there.
It's definitely north of here.
It's near Red Bank.
Okay. Yeah. It's going to be, you're north of it then. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
So that means it'd be even easier to get to land at our facility there in Harford County. That would be.
Yeah. I think that's a lot easier. So.
Yeah, it's probably going to be easier than trying to get it from you in Colorado then. Okay, great. Well, let's do this, because I'm sure anybody watching right now is probably curious what we're talking about. So, Matt, tell us the story of how the Bear and the Rat. Well, actually, let me do this. What is the Bear and the Rat? And then tell us where and how it started. So that way we can get everybody sort of caught up into this conversation that we already started.
Yes,
so,
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Bear and the Rat, you're going, what does this guy do? All right.
Yeah. So it's like, what?
We actually make, and it's going to throw you in for a further loop. We make frozen prebiotic yogurt for dogs. The company is named after my wife's Lhasa Apso Quimby, who used to growl at her. He would growl and be kind of bear-like, so she always referred to him as Bear affectionately. And then the Rat is actually my rat terrier, who's actually sitting in my lap right here.
Oh, look at that.
His name is Micah, and he's a rat terrier. So when he got in trouble, I always called him Rat. So the name was already in place before we even decided or talked about such a business. But yeah, so we make prebiotic frozen yogurt for dogs. It's quite an awesome thing we do. We're really happy to do such a thing, and it's super fun for us.
Yeah. So now the journey, tell me a little bit about how the journey started. So you were informing me that this is a family run business. Yeah. Husband and wife started this, putting it together. So I'm sure everyone's sort of curious how a husband and wife is now making this dog treat. So tell us how it started.
Well, so I'm going to actually backtrack about 35 years. My family used to go for cones on Sunday during the summertime, and we would bring our little poodle with us. Her name was Lindy, and she got a dollop of ice cream on a baby cone because she would come with us and she'd look at us like, excuse me, am I not a part of this family? And my dad, being kind of the goofball that he is, would buy her a little baby cone. We'd give it to her. She would go insane. It was the funniest thing. Like, my mom would just start laughing hysterically. People would be looking at us like, wow, that family is a little nuts.
Yeah.
She was a part of our family. I mean, this is back in the late 80s, and, she was important to us. So, she got a treat when we got a treat. And when we got her home, it was a 50-50 shot on whether she digested it well. So in the back of my mind, I thought, well, where is something like this for dogs that actually exists and is good for their tummy? So fast forward about 30 years forward, and I brought it up to friends and people like throughout college. I'm like, would this be a good idea? Like, I've always kind of thought about this, and people are like, dude, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. and it's so I always kind of chalked it up to, okay, it's and there was competition that kind of just had some throwaway type things, so I never really pursued it. Well, my wife, Meg, we were on our honeymoon. she mentioned to me that she wanted to start her own business and she was tired of working for other people. I was fully supportive of her. I thought that was an awesome idea. And, she wanted to do it with me. She was like, let's start a business together. And I was like, oh, that sounds really daunting and crazy and just a little too much.
Yeah.
And I kind of dismissive of her, but she was like, you're such a good idea person. Come, why don't you tell me an idea and we'll just do it. And I kind of frustratingly was like, let's do dog ice cream. And she, without any hesitation, my wife is fearless. She goes, let's do it. She's like, the bear and the rat, we can call it that. And that's how it started. So we started making it in our kitchen in Denver. We took out rent at the local farmers market to see if it was like a viable thing that people actually wanted. And Denver's super dog friendly, Colorado super dog friendly. So I had a good feeling that it was going to be, a cool local thing maybe we were going to do. I had no idea it was going to grow to this national brand that is in independent pet stores, about 3,000 independent pet stores.
Wow.
And grocery as well. So, I mean,
weren't you guys, now you guys been on Shark Tank, weren't you?
Yes. Very early in our, when we started, about 13 months into the business, actually.
Okay.
The thing that's crazy is they contacted us. We were actually working full time.
Hey, Matt, if you notice over my shoulder here, I think we got Russ to have a giggle. Mr. Serious over here, Mr. Nervous. Apparently, your Shark Tank experience got him to get curious here. You can see he's leaning in.
Ridiculous.
I've probably seen the episode.
Oh, you saw the episode? Okay. So what year were you on Shark Tank?
So this was back in 2012, which is really crazy. This is actually pre-children still. Meg was actually pregnant when we with our first child when we shot it. And the way it came about was they contacted us. They found us online. One of the producers sought us out and emailed Meg. It's so funny. I was working a job at this point, and I was sitting next to my boss when the email came through, and he was like talking to me.
Yeah.
About to jump out of the seat. But we went out there, and it was a pretty crazy, awesome experience. We got to have both our dogs on the show. We didn't get a deal. But that's the thing. We were only 13 months into our business. We only had like $25,000 in sales. It wasn't anything monumental for them to snap it up. But now here we are. I mean, now I think they would be kind of kicking themselves.
I was about to say with you, what you were about to say is with everything you're going into and seeing the clientele just really pick up your product, and you could probably see the dogs are getting happier, healthier, and they're enjoying something that's a good, viable treat for them, right?
Yes.
Now I'm guaranteeing probably one of those sharks are like, man, I wish I coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? Been an easy, sometimes they always say investing in businesses is one of the best things to do is take the risk when they're small, not when they're big. Obviously it costs less when they're small and not doing what they're doing now. Right. So now with your product, right. So what are some of the benefits of giving this as a dog treat? Is it something you should do? Is it really good once a day, once a week? Is it something along those lines?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Certainly. So we actually developed this with a dog's digestion in mind. We didn't want to throw a bunch of ingredients or have, not be like ice cream. We wanted to fool them and have it be healthy. So when we started, we actually were using, all natural, non-fat yogurt, no sugar added, with probiotics. And that's what we started with. And then over time, we've come to find out that probiotics are great for dogs. They can have a lot of benefits, but we actually found out that prebiotics are actually more beneficial because they actually feed all the good bacteria that's already existing in the dog's digestion.
Okay.
And it's supplementing that. So we actually have a great prebiotic blend from another company here in Colorado called Enclover. And it's just a magical blend that honestly, it promotes healthy stools and lets gas. So we're really fortunate to work with such a company and have their product in ours and have it be beneficial, because a dog's digestion is the most important thing for us, and having something that is real food that puts up, is a different from the mundane kibble and gives them moisture. So it's beneficial in that regard. Yes.
Right. So with a prebiotic, right? So now you're giving you're giving it as a preemptive, right? So what is does it matter? Now I'm stuttering. When it comes into the dry dog foods or feeding versus raw, dry kibble, maybe a mix with canned food, have you found that there's any other, like, if it if you give them something like this, is there any loose stools or anything like that? Because again, now you're giving them something enriching comparison to maybe that bland diet. So do you find that this is a less effect? Obviously we have a boarding facility. We have dogs that come work with us and train with us for long periods of times. And we've seen that sometimes if you give them too much of a rich treat, they get the loose stools, they get that kind of stuff. Where do you find your item is in that scenario?
So definitely introducing, a treat to your dog in small, doses, depending on the size of your dog too.
Okay.
A cup typically for a 50-pound dog is a daily serving. Leica and our other dogs, they get a cup every night. And basically with that, introducing anything, you could definitely see some loose stools at first.
Okay.
Because it is a dairy as well. So we have a skim milk based yogurt, and it is no sugar added, non-fat. So the goal with that was to have it be as basic as possible, not so focused on the dairy, and then have the other ingredients kind of supplement that, but also the prebiotics be there as that buffer. So
yeah. So with the prebiotics, you're essentially treating what could happen, giving them that healthier stool. Yes. So it sounds like what you're trying to almost prevent the problems that could arise from it, is what it sounds like. Now, with that being said, is this something that is truly beneficial? Should this be a daily treat added with food? Have you found any other health benefits to making this not just a treat, but more of an additive in their daily?
Yes, absolutely. Cooling them off after a hot walk. Definitely also during July 4th, giving a cup when fireworks are going off, calm them down, have them something to lick and focus on, getting that endorphins going from the licking. That's definitely something that we always tend to tell people. There's people who like to take it out of the cup and then chop it up onto their food, which can be good. But we really do encourage the licking and the interaction with your dog, because one, they want to interact with you, and two, that licking, with the endorphins,
right,
it just helps them be calm.
It helps them calm. So you like to use it almost as an anti-stressor.
Sometimes, depending on what day it is.
yeah. So it's a really multifaceted treat. Now the sizes of them are essentially they're small cups. We got another smile out of Russ. I think he's trying to picture it right now. He's guessing. It's exciting to see Russ smile.
Yeah. So I'm curious. Is it like a soft serve or hard ice cream?
Yeah.
Do
Close.
you scoop it out?
So it's like your typical Dixie cup. It comes out like that, and it's creamy. And our cups are also compostable with soy-based inks. So if you ever have an overzealous dog, which we've had, we've actually had a couple people call us this summer and go, "My dog ate the cup. Should I be freaking out?" And the dog will be fine. Just make sure they're drinking water. They may have a little bit of upset tummy from eating the cup, but nothing happens. And it shocks us that there actually is competition that use plastic cups. I can't even imagine, if you get a dog that's really excited about getting a froyo and they get a plastic cup.
So the type of cup you have is nothing that you're going to ever have to worry about with the dog getting a little too excited for it or something like that. Easy digestible. So it sounds like you and your wife have thought about almost every angle to really make sure that the dog has a great experience with your product, is what it seems like. And you said you've been doing it since 2011. I thought you said or is it 12 when you started?
So 2010 it's kind of funny. We started in 2010 of April. But we didn't really start, doing like real sales until the following year. So, you could count that. I count it just for good measure. But then, if you really want to get down to brass tacks, 2014 is when we really had started picking up distribution, which was a real game changer for us, because being frozen is crazy.
Yeah. So the journey to get this out there, and you guys are on Instagram, people could follow your items, and you're in major box stores. Do you want to let people know where they can grab your item? To what stores? Obviously I don't know either. So where can people find your
Yes. So first and foremost, independent pet stores. So not your Petco, not your PetSmart. You're gonna, your mom and pop independent pet stores that are in your town. Those are the first and foremost to check out. And then we're also in a bunch of great pet stores that are chains called Pet Food Express on the West Coast in California. We're also in Pet People. We're also in, let's see here. Sorry, I'm having a.
It's not a worry. Well, it's when you're in all these different places, who knows, right?
Well, it's funny because I'm like thinking of distributors that sound like pet stores as
Oh,
well.
okay, yeah.
But yeah, Pet Food Express, Pet People. We're also in Whole Foods nationally. We're
Okay.
also in Publix in the Southeast, and also King Supers here in Colorado is one that is
Okay.
that we frequent, and yeah, Wegmans up in the Northeast as well.
Oh, okay. We got a Wegmans down by us. You have Wegmans up Cherry Hill. That's a pretty good drive from here, isn't it?
Some people make that trip.
Well, you gotta love Wegmans at the time, right? I know my wife would probably make that drive every week to go there and probably get some cool treats for the dogs. So now, when you were putting this all together, the research development was coming into play, and you were saying about essentially it sounded like you were being preemptive. It sounds like your wife and yourself wanted to get ahead of the game. You did the prebiotics, not the probiotics. Dogs in kennels, have you seen that a lot of groomers, kennel facilities, trainers, is this very beneficial for them in the longevity? Is it a good social treat? Tell us a little bit more about like maybe some of the marketing, some of the ideas that you utilize to get this product out in front of these dogs so they have a happy, healthier life with it.
Yeah, certainly. Doing demos has always been a bread and butter for us around town. Getting in front of the consumer. I mean, that's really what's the main goal, is to let them know that even there is such a thing. I can't tell you through all my years where people are like, really, dog ice cream? Like, or people, I sit next to people and I'm like, yeah, this is what we do. And they're like, you're pulling my leg, right? And I'm like, no, I'm serious. This is what we do. And so getting out in front of people is first and foremost a big thing for us. And then because of that, taking pictures of events, of people with their dogs, seeing how happy they are, and then using that on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok is something we've tried to kind of tackle, or I should say my wife is trying to tackle. She tried to task me that last year when the pandemic hit. I couldn't do it. I was like, I'm out on this.
Yeah. So, I mean, social media is a difficult thing, and it definitely gives you a run for your money. Right. I guess the funny part is thinking about something like this. We always think about all these different treats. Like one thing that I used to try to do in the summertime for my dogs is I would take a water bucket and I would freeze the water bucket with like their Kong toy or something like that in the ice cube. I remember one time I took in like a piece of rebar, put it in the center, so that way I could just, once you take the ice cube, you just put it in the lawn so they could just sit there and lick it, all day long. Obviously, there's always coming up with different ways. They have the puppuccinos that are out there. These are, unique things going through those drive-throughs as those big places, and you get your puppuccinos, you get all of these different things, which are not the greatest item for your dog. Obviously, they can create upset stomachs. It can create all these things. So having a product like yours on the marketplace that people can get at local stores, Wegmans, Publix, the Pet People, would you say the other one was Pet Express, these stores locally, it sounds like not only are they giving something to their dog that is healthy, ready to rock and roll, that can give them a healthier stomach, a good gut to promote digestive systems, but the owners are actually also supporting local mom and pop and healthy living stores. Is that, it sounds like that's another game plan that you guys are doing here.
Yes. Well, we started in, the pet industry. That's how we, started getting distribution.
Yeah.
We started selling at the local pet stores here in Denver. There's about 6 that carried us, Chewies, Mouthfuls, 2 Pals and a Pup, and a few others. So yeah, they still carry us. And it's one of those things where we always wanted to support them. But another thing that was it's kind of a double-edged sword, which is why we're in grocery. So with the pet industry, we want to support them, but we're also producing a product that only about a handful of facilities in the United States produce. And it's really difficult, and frozen is tough. And so you really have to have large volumes to, be successful and, continually make the product, with good quality. So, being in, some mass grocery stores really helps us and, gives us the sales and the foot traffic to support the pet industry further. And what's even greater about that is we get to be in front of more people and let them know that your dog's health can be improved upon by just feeding them better.
Yeah.
So I feel like getting in front of people like that is really beneficial. Just letting them know that, hey, if you eat well, your dog eats well, less vet bills for you, healthier mind for yourself. It's really important for us to promote that because, we wouldn't be here.
I have to agree with the guy with that one. It's crazy to think about. It's so funny to think about how often we don't take into consideration our dog's stomach, right? Like when we really break it down, like we'll just go buy the cheapest dog food in the world. Who cares? It's a dog. Feed them the table scraps, feed them the spicy foods, whatever it is. We're eating it, or it's whatever we don't want to eat, just feed it to the dog. But most people don't ever take in consideration that whatever you put into your stomach is essentially going to cause some sort of lash out, right? Like, so for example, if you eat bad food, you're going to have bad skin, bad hair. You can promote all these things that are difficult to live a healthy, happy life, right? And when it comes to our dogs, I mean, think about it. There is pet insurance, right? Like it does exist. Really cover your everyday health bills, right? So when you give your dog healthy food, you are taking care of their health. You're watching what they eat. You're watching how they exercise. You're giving Gillet healthy treats, and it's with prebiotics. That means you're preemptively getting in there, preventing any type of wrath of illness. You are not only helping your dog's stomach, but you're saving a ton of money.
Right.
I must have scared him off. I must have had a really good one. Matt ran.
Sorry, the rat wanted out.
What was that, Matt? I'm sorry. What was that?
The rat wanted outside.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, I had a really good one there, and he decided he's like, I'm out. He goes, I selling my stuff better, right? So Russ, I don't know if you heard him, but Russ actually had a good point. He has some of his clients that literally count the calories of the dog's intake. So this is probably again another great treat for people to grab into and get onto if you're looking for that happy, healthier treat. This is something to take into consideration. Is you got to look out there and see what you're feeding your dog. I mean, my wife has become a nutritionist. She's been studying for a few years now, and now she's doing all this healthy stuff. And I'm learning so many different things, and I've always been a husky dude. Even in the Marine Corps, I was known as the fat Marine. That's how I always pushed the weight limits. That was the kind of thing. I will never deny that. I love food, and especially crappy, greasy, deep fried food. But, I got diagnosed with different health issues, Crohn's disease, things like that. And what's crazy about it is that between learning with my wife and taking care of my animals, learning how important it is to think about your GI tract, your energy levels, health levels, your stool samples, how often you're going to the doctor, dental care. I mean, when you give your dog really bad food, bad treats, you're going to cause build up. Different things like that now you need to brush your dog's teeth. You need to pay to have them, put under anesthesia so they can give them a dental cleaning. Different x-rays. If you're not feeding your dog healthy enough, then a lot of times I found that dogs wind up becoming scavengers and eating things that they shouldn't be eating. Stool, things in the yard, who knows? They'll just start eating stuff. So, it's awesome to see that you and your wife have gone out of your way to not only start a business, which I always think is awesome. I love seeing entrepreneurs go out there and do things, but to see you guys put together a phenomenal dog treat that's going to keep and promote the happy, healthy life of people's family members. I mean, let's face it, these are family members. They're not, they're not the cattle in the, I mean, don't get me wrong too. I mean, again, if I had cattle, I'd probably love them the same, but, just thinking about that in general is the fact that, it's not often you see that. A lot of times you see a lot of products hit the marketplace that are either trying to just drive in for sales. They're just zooming into those positions, and they're not really going out of their way to promote that happier, healthier life. And again, if we don't know the cost, because obviously the cost may be different for your item based on where they might live or what store they buy it out of. But thinking about it, even if it's more of an expensive treat, if you gave it once every other day or once every week or something along those lines, you're promoting a happier, healthier gut, which is going to save you tons of money down the road with your vet care, with your GI issues, with your dogs becoming scavengers. I know that I've seen dogs eat really crappy foods, and next thing you know, they eat everything. You know, so it hits the floor. It could be a pencil, and they're going to try to ingest it because they, you know, essentially they're living their life in a starving scenario, right?
Right.
And it sounds like you guys have put the research in and developed something that is really happier and healthier to keep them that way. Because I mean, our animals are not out hunting anymore, so they're not burning the calories and not learning how to pick and choose. So if you know,
I have a question.
Yeah.
So if we're going to go out and hunt for this ice cream, what aisle do we look down? Do you go down the frozen ice cream aisle? Do you look in the dog treat aisle? Like, where is it located in the Wegmans and stores like that?
That's a great question because there is confusion upon that sometimes. So typically, we are in the frozen novelty set. So we're right next to, you know, your ice cream sandwiches, your push pops, and all that. And they're usually kind of tucked away, like in the top or on the bottom shelf, but in their own little corner. So we're usually in the frozen novelty set. In independent pet stores, freezers are growing and more frozen raw food is growing. So typically we're there, or in like kind of the mixed, you know, frozen. And then there are some stores where in also in some Big Wise as well, and they have actually special freezers in their pet set, which is pretty forward thinking for a mass grocery store.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, that's important stuff to realize. I mean, if honestly, that's a great question there, Russ, because I would be honest and tell you
Really
that
is.
I you know, I didn't think of that. You know, just thinking about if I was buying that in, I guess if I was going to a big store like Wegmans or something like that, I mean, I wouldn't even have thought to.
I just know myself, and I look up every aisle in the wrong places, and you know, right away I'm thinking, how do I find it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, frozen sections are. And you know, it's funny is most frozen store. I know when you go to the store, for me, when I go to the grocery store, frozen sections stress me out because they have so much stuff in there, and typically the glass is always fogged. So you also don't want to be that weirdo that's just standing in the middle of the aisle, just staring at the glass door.
Or when you open up,
Yeah.
like, all right, it's not here.
Yeah, I'm defrosting all the food, right? It's like it's definitely one of those scenarios where it is neat to know where you're looking for. And do you have any of them with you to show us?
Yes,
you know, I know this is also, yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't even think anybody knows what to look for right now.
Let me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Again, Matt's ditching our show right now. He's on the plus side, everybody. We do have Russ smiling and he's loosening up. This is fantastic. So we do have some pluses going on here.
So here are our boxes.
Okay.
This is our here we go. Two bigger flavors.
Banana peanut butter,
butter, and then banana peanut butter. I don't know why it says Meg wrote recipe down there. I think we have to change that box. So these are our two boxes. They come in 4 single serve cups, and they're 3.5 ounces. And our bacon peanut butter is our #1 SKU, obviously. This has real chunks of cooked bacon throughout.
I don't know what I'm thinking in my head going, I know my dog would love that, but that just sounds like a very odd.
So here's the thing. Everything is human grade.
Yeah,
we make it in a real ice cream facility. So there's no weird junky ingredients that you go, well, I don't want to eat that. Like that's the tip. That's another thing. We wanted to really, for Meg and I, when we first started, we're like, wouldn't it be awesome if it could be like a dual thing that people can eat with their dog? And there's like FDA regulations that just don't allow that. So that's where we went full first force with the ice cream. But our bacon peanut butter has real chunks of bacon, all natural peanut butter, no salt, no sugar, no xylitol added. Obviously, they don't need that crap. It's just peanuts.
Okay.
And then our banana peanut butter is banana puree, all natural peanut butter, our yogurt, the prebiotic blend, and they go crazy. I mean, that's the thing that I really enjoy the most is hearing people and how their dogs enjoy them, because people will always tell me how their dog eats them, and I really think that's funny. You'll have the dogs who are really dainty and they hold them with their paws and they lick very slowly, and then there's the dogs who tear open the cup and they make it a hockey puck and they want to, eat it in 2 bites, which we don't encourage because, if you ate a whole scoop of ice cream, you'd probably throw up.
The dogs get brain freeze.
Yeah, so do dogs get brain freeze? They do.
So my mother-in-law's dog, when he was around, he would go crazy and he would stop and he'd look. Let me go right back to so they definitely get some form of brain freeze for sure.
Okay, I got it. That's pretty awesome. So if right now, if someone's watching and they are an owner of a store, would love to carry your product, where could they, I guess, find out how to carry your product?
Yes, so we are carried by some awesome pet distributors. We are carried by pet food experts in the Northeast and out in California and the Northwest. We are carried by ADMC and Middle West in Chicago and the middle of the country, the Midwest. Also pet food experts in our neck of the woods, Colorado. And ADMC is in Texas as well. Southeast Pet in the Southeast. And Frontier out of Michigan and kind of the also Midwest territory there.
Awesome. So right now, people are looking for this. They can check out our local pet stores. If your pet store doesn't have this product, you have to tell them to find one of those distribution companies and get them to carry this product. They can also find out more information at cooltreatsfordogs.com. That's COOLTREATSFORDOGS.com for more information on the bear and the rat. It's an awesome little treat. We're hoping to be carrying it here at Blue Line Canine, so this is going to be really exciting. I have to look up pet food experts. And Matt, I loved having you on the show. I appreciate your time with us. Fun. And I look forward to staying in contact with you, learning some stuff, and getting your product at Blue Line Canine. So
yes, let's work on that. I'm happy to assist. And yeah, pet food experts, they're awesome. They're great to work with. And,
yeah, that's the Northeast corridor. Is that right? So they would be New Jersey, correct. New York,
and Maryland. They have also just a great portfolio of other brands, not just us. Really awesome, excellent treats that are good for your dog's digestion. So yeah, that's the thing that I really want to stress. There's other awesome brands that need attention as well. So definitely check in them.
Yeah, let's. What I'll do, Matt, if you don't mind, when we sign off here, I'll send you an email probably tomorrow. Love to reconnect, and maybe we can get some of those other products and people that you're looking for on our show, Dog Talk, help people get aware and get the information out for them. That'd be fantastic. So, sure. Matt, thank you so much coming on the show. It was truly a pleasure. I always love meeting and learning about all this amazing people and stuff that they're creating to help our community of dog loving out there. This show is actually brought to us by Red Leaf Coffee Company, who has made a coffee blend for us in front of my computer here. If you're watching or listening on the podcast, obviously you can't see it. It's Red Leaf Coffee Company making a blend of coffee for dog lovers by dog lovers. So if you guys are looking for it, you can also find that on our website, or you can check out Red Leaf Coffee Company. They are out of Washington State. So they make a phenomenal coffee. And I'll tell you this, it's all organic and it's a phenomenal, I will tell you, I'm not even kidding you. I tried this coffee and it has been amazing. I haven't been able to stop drinking it myself. Honestly, went back to the regular coffee just because I ran out and didn't join the coffee club. And man, that was a big mistake. Immediately signed up for the coffee club. So if you're looking for it, Matt, I will gladly send you a blend just to get you started on it. And anybody else looking for some, I highly suggest getting to our website. We'll put a link on the link in a couple of days in the description. That way you guys can find it as well. So Matt, thank you so much. I will be in contact with you soon to figure out how we can partner up and bring the cool treats or the bear and the rat, to Wag Pet Resort and Blue Line Canine Training Centers as we continue to grow together. So thank you so much. And we'll see you guys all next week. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Michael. Had a great time.
All right. Bye.